This is Officer Jeremiah.
Officer Stephen.
We're at the Gulfdale Plaza doing cuts from the streets for Christmas, showing our people, just getting their thoughts on it, and we bringing the truth to them. All praise. Jeremiah, we out here at Gulfdale Plaza. We're doing cuts from the streets, talking about Christmas. I'm here with
Michael Raza.
So Michael, let me ask you something. What is your thoughts about Christmas?
From what I've heard and my family taught me, it's about giving back to people that you don't know, or spending time with your family. Don't necessarily have to be about getting a gift. It's more important about like spending time with your family.
Doing interview cuts from the street right here, Glendale Shopping Center. By Chris, what's your name?
My name Carlos.
Carlos. All right. So, what is this month right here?
This month right here is this month right here.
Yes, sir. What they doing this month?
They celebrating supposed to be Christ's death, which is called Christmas.
His death?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean his birthday.
Okay, there you go. His birthday.
Yeah.
So what are some things that people do to get in the season? They say, right?
Tell a bunch of lies, cook some collard green cornbread, and get up around about 6 o'clock in the morning, open the presents.
Okay.
Have to be about getting a gift. It's more important about like spending time with your family.
Just family time. So what's the origin that you think Christmas is about? Do you think it's about Christ's birthday, or is it a good thing to celebrate? Cause like you say it's about family, right? So what else do you think Christmas is about, what we was taught growing up?
Well, I was taught in my church, and my dad kind of like stressed about it to me. It's about the birth of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And but at school, it's all about the presents and how much money you're gonna get. That's how my class put it.
Right, okay. So in today's time, so a lot of our folks, Santa Claus, is he real? Do you think he real?
No.
Right, so that was one form of a lie that they kind of told us, because I thought Santa Claus was real too until I grew up and I realized it was my parents giving me those gifts.
I found the gifts.
Right.
That was like, oh my God. There was no fat man, and Dad was eating cookies, so
right. So it's a lot of whole deception really from the jump. So now we gonna go into the Bible to show you. You mind if I show you a couple scriptures showing you? Let me show you how. Give me cause who started Christmas?
That I'm not sure.
Okay. Back in slavery time, you familiar with slavery? When you do the research on slavery, we're gonna give you a flyer, okay? With this paper on that. When you look at it, you're gonna see the so-called black people as the gifts. And the people that's given to us as the gifts are the so-called white man. So let me show you what the Bible says about the white man that started Christmas. Give me Proverbs 3:31. Proverbs 3:31. Let me show you something. Because it was our oppressor that forced us to celebrate these customs. Because Christ was not born around Christmas, around wintertime. You know what I'm saying? So watch this.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31.
Come on.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
So the Bible say envy not. So don't want to follow behind your oppressor, because do you believe that the so-called white man them are our oppressors today, or do you feel like we're equal?
It depends on where you're at. Some places they're equal, and other places they're not. And my sister said they just get better at hiding it than anything else.
Okay, that's right. They're getting better at hiding who they really is, because the people that had us enslaved back then are the same people with grandkids today. You get what I'm saying? They're the one in our corporation that own these stores. So give me Colossians 2 real quick. Let me show you something. I want to show you how God feel about Christmas, how he feel about it. They feast days, they pagan days. Watch this.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8.
Come on. Beware,
lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
So it say beware. When you see the word beware, the word beware anyway, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, should you go near it or far away from it?
Far away from it.
Right. So it say beware. Get away from this. But beware what?
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
So through vain deceit, because Christmas is a vain deceit. It's a lie. It's deceived our people from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, in slavery, we would have been the gifts. Read.
After the tradition of men.
After the tradition of who?
After the tradition of men. After the rudiments of the world.
So Christmas is a tradition of men. A rudiment of this world, and what else?
and not after Christ.
And it's not after Christ. Because Christ didn't tell us to celebrate his birthday. Christ never said anything about celebrating Christmas.
Okay. Yeah, so they say it's the birth of Christ, right?
That's what they say.
Okay, okay. What are some things they do, like decoration? Get what you got.
They basically, you know, it's a traditional thing every year after every year. You know, they decorate their houses, they decorate their trees, you know, and stuff like that. And this year, you know, I seen a lot of trees. I guess it's been pretty well this year.
Hey, so the churches celebrate this, right? This is where most of us learn this in church. The churches be in this spirit too, huh?
I wouldn't necessarily say that because I was brought up under the holiness, and we really don't believe in pagan holidays.
So this is a pagan holiday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means this is not of the Bible?
It also speaks about the tree up in the Bible too, sir. So I wouldn't technically say that Christmas itself, I mean, it's not part of the Bible because it's lies. In the Bible, does it say it's the 25th is Jesus Christ's birthday?
Does it?
No, sir.
So that's good. You have a little knowledge. All right, so let me ask you a question then. Does this please God?
No, sir. But far as the, you know, giving and, you know, far as, you know, giving and everything, I think that has something to do with pleasing of God and things like that. But far as just the occasion itself, no, you know.
All right, so there's a scripture say we ought to obey God rather than man.
Right.
So we pleasing man or we pleasing God when we do this?
Well, a lot of people think that they're pleasing God, but at the same time they're pleasing man. But at the same time, they won't get in with works.
They say that one time?
They won't get in with works.
They want to get in with work. All right. Hey, you might read you a few scriptures, my brother?
Sure, yes,
so
sir.
you said a lot of knowledgeable things, and we just want to bang up what you said. Give me Jeremiah 10 real quick. Come stand in the middle right here. Stand right here in the middle. Let's walk up some. What's your name one more time, big bro?
My name Carlos, sir.
Carlos, Stephen. Watch this. Jeremiah.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
So us, we're the house of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, according to the history in the Bible, is going to slavery, right? Watch this, read.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be.
So, do you know who the heathens are? He say, listen, O house of Israel, learn not the ways of the heathens. Just guess what you think, who the heathens are.
I guess the sinners.
Other nations of people. Other nations of people. He say, learn not the ways of the other people around you. Read.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Because you're familiar with the children of Israel, right? Coming out of Egypt, right?
Yes, sir.
And the commandments.
Yes, sir.
He gave us commandments, and he told the other nations, he gave them worship idols.
Yes, sir.
God. So he said what?
Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
So if we got around the heathen, we learned their ways. They worship the stars, the moon, rocks, trees, right? Come on.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Uh-huh.
For the customs of the people are vain.
They are what?
They are vain.
You know what vain means?
Man, it's dead.
You don't mean nothing.
Right.
It's dead, right? Come on.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
They do what?
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Go ahead.
The work of the hands of the workman with the axe.
So it said at this time of the year, right? Just think about it. As we reading this, what comes to mind as you hear this?
Well,
We're gonna read it one more time.
For the customs of the people.
To the thing.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
What do you think about when they go to cutting trees out of the forest? Because you said something earlier about a lot of money. You see a lot of trees. What comes to mind? Let's read. Come on, keep on reading.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest,
Uh-huh.
the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Uh-huh.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
They do what?
They deck it with silver and with gold.
What that's going into, bro?
decorating the tree.
Decorating a tree. With what?
For they deck it with silver and with gold.
Come on.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
So what you just said was correct.
Right.
The Most High God said that's vain. Don't do that thing. You are exactly it, right? You say that's vain. All right, real quick. Go to Colossians 2. So let me ask you a question, right? You said something about Christ, and he wasn't born. But can we find out when he was born in the Bible? You think? Because a lot of people say they don't know, but they just celebrate it for this day. What you think?
I mean, I haven't got to that point yet.
You ain't got to that point. You want to get to that point?
Sure.
You want to find out?
Sure.
So you can go and tell, hey, I know the Bible, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's get to that point.
That's all.
You got a lot of knowledge, bro. Let's go to the Bible and prove it now.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 2 and verse 41.
Come on.
Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover.
So a festival or feast, our customs are in this Bible, what God wanted to celebrate. They call holy days. You know how the heathen call it what days?
Pagan.
Pagan, but a
Holiday, yes.
holidays.
Yes,
The Bible got our own customs called holy days.
Right.
You understand? So they twist it, right?
Right,
Watch this.
right.
Watch this.
And when he was 12 years old.
Hold on, read that from the top again.
And when he was 12 years old.
So now it said the feast of the Passover. Remember we was talking about the Egypt coming out of, right? So around the Passover is when corn and crops begin to grow. What time of the year is that when crops begin to grow?
I want to say on the farm.
When crops and corn grow. Not dead.
Oh, in the winter.
When corn begin to grow, flowers begin to bloom.
On the summer.
All right, spring. We'll try spring, right?
Yeah.
Watch this. Read it from the top.
And when he was 12 years old.
So at this time of the year, he was 12. He just turned 12 years old around the Passover. Spring. So the Bible's bagging up that Christ was born when?
In the spring.
In the spring, in the Passover. Read.
That's right. And they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. That's it.
So he went to Jerusalem after that custom, meaning that's the feast that we're supposed to keep, right? Now, let's see at this time of the year when it's cold, what other feasts we're supposed to keep. Because as people of God, we want to follow Christ. So let's go in the Bible and see what the church should be teaching us to follow. Let's see what Christ kept. Come on.
This is the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22.
Come on.
And it was at Jerusalem.
He in Jerusalem again. You heard that? Jerusalem, read.
The feast of the dedication.
So this is another festival of how holy day God said keep. Read it again.
And it was at Jerusalem. The feast of the dedication. And it was winter.
What time of the year was?
And it was winter.
You heard that? So in the winter, Christ is keeping that. He's going to say it though. Watch.
And Jesus walked in the temple in Solomon's porch.
So Jesus walked in and he kept that feast, all right? So now, what do you think about hearing these and getting it bagged up with the Bible? Because you said a lot of correct stuff. But what do you think now?
Well, I mean, I think that now, I think that, each one can teach one, and I know when Jesus was born, I know when, the crops was made, around about the spring and all that good stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, yes, sir. Hey, don't be sad because we got a lot of feast days in this Bible where we gave gifts, which is called the Feast of Purim. That's what the Most High God wants us to keep. But right now we're going over Christmas. So let me ask you, now you're hearing this, would you go buy a Christmas tree and put gifts under the tree now?
Man, I told you, like I said, I didn't believe him.
Yes, sir. Okay. So now, this is cut from the street, Christmas edition, IUIC Mobile. And with that, we say shalom.
Hey, shalom. This is Officer Jeremiah at Gulfdale Plaza. We're finishing up the Cut from the Streets on Christmas edition. I'm here with
Officer Stephanie. All right, so we just talked to our people and got their minds of what they thought about it. A lot of them didn't know. A lot of them took in the information coming out the Bible. They were surprised. So we had a good crowd of people came out and they was receptive to the word. So all praises for that.
Hey, all praises. And with that, we say shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word